What is a filthy business tactic you know that everyone should be aware of? If a loved one dies and they owe money on something, you will receive a call within a day or two of them passing. They will try to get you to agree to pay for their debt by any means possible, usually a guilt trip. I'm sure he would have wanted his good name preserved, etc. They will try to get you to make any payment at all. $1, $5, whatever. If you pay any amount, you become fully responsible for the debt and they will transfer the loan to you. The legality of this tactic and the debt transfer probably depends on the state. You are under no obligation to pay the debts of a deceased loved one, so be careful. If they had an estate, the debtors need to go through the correct legal processes to file a claim against the estate, not you. If there's no estate, the debtors are out of luck and they know it. The people attempting to collect on these are scumbags and will first try to trick, guilt, or shame you into paying something. If that doesn't work, they will try to insinuate you will have legal problems if you don't play along. This is especially terrible as if you were close to this person. You're grieving and vulnerable and they act as if they are trying to help you in a rough time when they're actually trying to screw you. Telling someone not to worry about the language in a contract, because we never enforce it or our company policy will protect you from that. All that matters is what's on that paper you sign. Hiring above. You have a stable, good job, no indication that you're doing a bad job. Then suddenly you get a new manager just above you. A few weeks later they just give you a warning for something super minor, whatever they can get, and then fire you shortly after. My company has done this to several higher level employees lately. This happened to my sister recently. Luckily she started looking for a new one as soon as they gave her the warning and was able to leave on her own terms. Companies that let you sign up online but require you to talk to someone to remove your account. Uber does this, and so do a lot of other companies. Fabletics by Kate Hudson. I never got the product I ordered. Eventually I cancelled and considered that money stolen. Gyms that deliberately don't process your membership cancellation requests so they can keep charging your credit card every month. And if you cancel your direct debit with them, they'll claim that you owe them the money for that month and send a collection agency after you. A lot of express garages like the ones that do oil, brakes, and like will often have a bunch of crappy old air filters, and while you're waiting for your oil change they'll bring one out and show you your cabin air filter and ask if you want to swap it out. These air filters are like $7 online and they'll try and charge you $35 bucks. I always mark my air filters with a Sharpie so I know they're the ones for my vehicle. I've caught this 3 times. Generally cabin air filters are behind your glove box if you want to take a look at yours. When a furniture company has a liquidation sale due to going out of business, it isn't really going out of business. We have a rug store nearby that's been going out of business for 4 years now. Generally websites that ask for an email address, date of birth, address are likely going to sell the information to advertisers later. Before a sale the business will raise the price significantly so it can have massive sales that really are a bit crap. Saving your card details and forcing auto renewal of a service unless you go through the purposely unintuitive and difficult process of cancelling. I started using privacy.com to combat this. You can generate burner credit cards with defined limits so you don't have to remember to cancel free trials. Service fees and convenience fees on tickets. If you look into what those things are paying for, a lot of it doesn't make any sense, like facility fees or promotion fees, which implies that people who buy their tickets in person don't need to pay for the use of the venue or advertising, while people who buy online do. If you are buying a car with a trade-in and give your keys to the salesman for whatever reason, and you change your mind, they'll say they can't find the keys. They threw mine on the roof. The point is to keep you waiting so they can pitch to you longer. Threaten to call the cops if they don't return your keys in 5 minutes. If they don't, call a tow truck company and have your car hauled to a competitor's lot. Explain to them they couldn't find the keys. Tow truck company will bill them. Competitor will also bill them. Make sure tow truck company does not work for them. FI has a habit of taking your credit card information and signing you up for crap even when you say no. I discovered a strange charge on my card last month that I definitely didn't authorize. After doing some digging, I found out that it's extremely common for FI to sign you up for magazine subscriptions and the like, especially during the Christmas season. They do this even when you clearly say no. The charge won't show up for a few months, so I think they're hoping it won't be linked back to them. My manager said the exact same thing happened to her a few years ago, and there are dozens more similar stories on the internet. I already hated Fife for lying to me about their membership program, but now I'll never shop there again for any reason. That's beyond unethical. That's flat out illegal. Death shifts. If you are an at-will, non-unionized employee, you do not need to be given a reason for your termination. You can be fired because they don't like the color of your shirt, as long as they're not clearly discriminating because of marital status, sex, or religion. You have no counterclaim. However, the other side of this is that the company still has to pay your unemployment, and you can continue to cost them money after they have severed ties with you. To address this, companies will sometimes assign employees a death shift, or a time slot and/or responsibilities that are technically within your job requirements, but are set up in such a way as to make your failure inevitable and your utter misery assured. The idea is that they want you to quit, so they don't have to keep paying you. Different companies find different ways of instituting death shifts, and are usually clever enough to leave plenty of plausible deniability that they are doing this to begin with. We'd all like to think that we'd win a battle of wills against the company, but the truth is, there's only so long that a person can bear feeling their soul whittled away. Adding a paid warranty to a product without asking first. Things like video games or small electronics will have a prompt for a warranty at some stores, and clerks will tack it on to up their counts hoping you won't notice. Being deceptive in the hiring process about how much a sales rep can reasonably make in commissions. I took a sales job last year thinking I would make 50-60k only to find out after a few months that selling enough to just make 40k would make you a superstar in the company. I had a recent job interview that listed your pay from $11.13 an hour. I get to the interview, ask about pay commission, and it turns out that it's $8 base and commission, and that some make up to $13 an hour. I walked out. The stress interview. Imagine you're applying for a job at a crappy call center or something, and when you walk up to hand in your resume, the secretary starts trash talking your resume by saying it's not up to standards and demands to know who made it so they can be reported. You think there must be something you don't know about resumes since this is only your first or second job, so you're put on the spot in an unusual situation. Surprise, there's nothing wrong with your resume. The company is just treating you badly to see how you react. There are other means of conducting this, like having a board of interviewers grill you with all sorts of questions for even small entry-level jobs. This happened to me once. I was fresh out of the College of Business at the time, so I was fortunate enough to immediately recognize what it was. Thankfully I said, I know this is a stress interview, but I don't want to work for a company that would do that to their potential employees. Oddly enough, they really wanted me to work there after that, but I walked. Either way, being prepared for a stress interview when you apply for jobs is extremely valuable because you can leave a great impression with how you handle that. Respond with a prompt "go frick yourself, you were just stress interviewing back." Not sure if this counts, but when there are job fairs and most of the companies there are all not really hiring. We're here just because we feel like it. LOL. Sorry, went to a job fair a few years ago for people on the autism spectrum, and that pretty much describes the whole thing. Consumer Reports donations mail look like membership bills. Also, they automatically sign you up for auto-renew, and the only way to cancel is to call them because there is no way to opt out, and when you try to do it yourself online they word it as if you're cancelling the membership instead of just stopping AUO. Renew. Door-to-door salesman, if you let them get this far, will accidentally drop their pen before asking you to sign something. Normally, because you're a nice person, you'll pick it up and make an attempt to give it back to them. At this moment, they will ask you to sign the paper. You will feel as if you have to sign because of the fact that you already have the pen to sign it with. Source: Dad used to be a salesman and they stress the use of this trick. Parents bought plane tickets last night and fell victim to this. 1. See reasonable price for a flight. 2. Spend a lot of time filling out information. 3. Get to pay screen and price has gone way up. Most ticket sites lock your price in for a while, and even some show you a timer for when the price expires. What shady site were they using? LOL. Not sure if this counts. Companies, like Microsoft, that buy other patents and don't use them, only so there is nothing better out there. RIP progress. Most restaurants will have a high-priced, low-profit, out-of-theme item on their menu. This is known as the anchor. Its only purpose is to make the other items on the menu appear cheaper. That must be the chili cheese frank at Steak and Shake. Most companies that offer rewards programs, Shoppers Drug Mart is a great example, have higher prices than their competitors, and the deals you get from their rewards program actually just brings the price down to what you would pay if you went to another store and paid their normal price. Whenever you try to change your cell service and carry over your existing phone number, you're required to provide your current service's account number, not the phone number, but the number associated with your carrier account. From what I can tell, every carrier on the planet gives this to you, probably on your paper bill if you receive one, because why the heck wouldn't you be told your own account number? Virgin Mobile purposely withholds it from you. It's not on their website, it's not on your bill, you can't find it in your phone, and customer service won't tell you up front. There used to be a workaround that involved looking at the source code of their website after you log in, but they removed that, too. They claim it's for safety purposes, but that's bulls. What other company have you ever dealt with that refuses to tell you your own account number? It's because they want to make changing carriers as difficult as possible, and because forcing you to have a long conversation with customer service before you can do so gives them chances to offer you retention benefits like cheaper upgrades on phones. Source: I called Virgin to get my account number so I could carry my number over to a new carrier and was given the third degree about why I needed my account number. I lied and told them I just wanted it for my records. I had to negotiate with one customer service rep for about 10 minutes about why I would need this information. Then he claimed he didn't have access to it and would have to transfer me to somebody else, who immediately asked me if I was cancelling because nobody needs that number unless they're cancelling. Finally got it, but it was Boost does as well. I told them I needed it for tax purposes and they gave it to me right away. The gym I used to go to lets you sign up online, but to cancel your membership you have to go to the actual gym and tell them or mail them a letter. You can't cancel online or over the phone. You have to go to the post office and mail them a letter or actually go there. It's a deliberate ploy to make it harder for people with busy schedules, or people who might get anxious about talking to someone in person about cancellation, to cancel so they might just keep paying. I posted a reply above about this. I had to mail a certified tracking envelope, which didn't even help, and make 5-6 phone calls over the course of 2 months to get mine cleared. Bunch of BS. Some real estate agents will show you some not very attractive houses flats first, so that the first okay house will look much more attractive than it would have looked if the agent would have shown you this house flat first. It is the contrast principle and it works very well. In other products this principle is used the other way around, and the sales clerk will show you some high price products first before showing you an expensive but more reasonably priced product. This way the expensive product will look cheaper in contrast and a sale is more likely. Also the agent selling your place encouraging you to take an offer. They want a quick payday so they'll tell you it's a solid offer even if it is far below your listing price. The truth is that if this was your agent's home, they wouldn't accept it. They would wait it out until another offer was made that was closer to or above asking price. Grocery stores will ask you for a donation, only to take your money, put it in a short-term investment, make money off the interest from your money, and then donate that money to whatever cause it was for. There is a lot of sharp practice by foul Australian supermarket Woolworths. They abuse their market power against farmers who need their business to survive. They make the farmers pay voluntary contributions for stupid Jamie Oliver advertising campaigns and make them grow more food than they can sell and destroy crops if Woolworths decide not to buy them. They are also verbally abusive and called a good honest farmer a dumb F-wit for no good reason. Bastards. High lowering a product. Big retailers will often artificially inflate a price across a product that isn't selling for 28 days UK Trading Standards compliance period for price establishment. Once price established, the retailer can take the price point back to the original price but advertise it as X% off or was now to make the product more appealing and make the customer think they are getting a good deal. Even worse, Franchise retailers can hike the price up in a handful of stores until the price establishment period is over, then advertise the illusion of a deal across the whole estate. Source: I work in a commercial team for a market-leading retailer in the UK. We don't use these tactics, but our competition does. If an interviewer asks if you have reliable transport and you are receiving a ride, just say yes. If you imply you don't have a car of your own, you are automatically out. This is for non-major cities. If you aren't in the heart of somewhere with constant transport, even saying you take the bus can be a red flag. Amazon's returns policies are great. If you're a customer, with regards to ebooks especially, it's a no-quibble returns policy. If you decide you don't want the book anymore within about a week, you can return it. No questions asked, no matter how much of it you've read. I make my living selling ebooks, and the number of times I get people downloading my books only to rip them and return them the day after is nuts. I mean, on the one hand I get it, everyone likes free stuff. But what you don't realize is that you're putting a black mark against writers that you enjoy. Too many returns, and thus too many black marks, and Amazon can come down hard on your account. Why do they do this? Because they have pretty much a monopoly on writers. If you want to make money writing ebooks, you pretty much have to use Amazon, and they care a lot more about PR of their customers than the people actually creating content. Most authors release their books for free, or at a drastically reduced price, on a regular basis, as kind of a loss leader. If you want to support them, and you absolutely should, there's a lot of good stuff being put out in the indie markets, especially if you know where to look, but have a limited budget. Just wait for that to happen. You boost their sales figures, you get a free book, and everyone is happy. I really like authors who will drop the price of the first book in a series to a couple bucks, or sometimes completely free, then have the rest at more normal prices. Makes it easier for me to justify trying out a new author, and if I enjoy the book, then it's easy to convince myself to pay full price for the rest. US health insurance warning. Unfortunately, in the US, healthcare is business. Clinics and hospitals do not care if the doctor, lab specialist, or whoever is in your insurance's network. They will choose whoever is easiest and most convenient for them. The hospital may be in your network, but the doctor could be visiting from another facility, in which case she is considered an out-of-network doctor and you will be charged more. This is most common with lab specialists. Whenever you get a test, biopsy, or blood draw done, the lab technicians process, analyze, and report your results. Lab specialists are often out of network and may or may not even be affiliated with the hospital clinic. I have heard friends say they have requested that they use a lab specialist in their insurance network and have had that request honored. I have personally never had luck. Any discussion with my doctor or nurses about health insurance usually gets a "that's none of my business" attitude, but others have had better luck. Spectrum Cable gave me a phone number that was going to be related to the line they were installing when they installed internet. I asked if they was going to cost more monthly and was told that no, it won't cost more. You get a better rate on your internet. So after I hung up with that person, I called back because it sounded fishy, and sure enough it was going to be $20 more a month. The better rate that was given was probably paying less monthly for internet but more overall total. I saw the worst of the worst. MLM. If you have to buy a product to start working, it's a scam. Cutco is the literally textbook perpetrator here. If the sale price and the regular price is printed on the same label, the product has never been sold at the regular price. This is illegal in Belgium. If a product is on sale, the claimed regular price must have been used for a specific period of time before the sale started. Telesales. Ever heard of Talk America, Vital Basics, Rana Industries, Gold Shield Group, Infotopia? Companies that sell products that don't work on radio or TV. Think non-FDA approved pills advertised with weasel terms like clinically studied instead of clinically proven. Crap like Focus Factor, to make you smarter, or Latlavy, cream you rub on that's going to make your tea bigger. You hear the ad on the radio or see it on TV. Call now for your free trial. I assume the internet has ended this stuff, But if you did buy something over the phone, after you heard an ad for a 30-day free trial, which means you have 30 days to return it, because it's the fricking law. After they get your payment details and you stop listening, the salesperson will ramble on about something and say okay at the end. You'll say okay in response. They are recording this and now you've signed up for something else. Then another blurb ending in okay. Okay, now you have automatic renewal. Then, when the snake oil arrives, you'll use it, find out it doesn't do anything, and maybe forget about it. Then next month more arrives, and some other crap shows up, and all these charges on your credit card account start showing up, with phone numbers attached to them. You call the phone number for customer service, which does exist, but there are like 2 customer service reps, 50 sales reps, and that department is open for about 4 hours a day. If you can get through, more sales tactics to prevent the return. Then when the return happens, it's processed at a snail's pace. You might not see your money back for 6 months or more. Oh, and that other service you got signed up for? Sorry, that's a different, equally terrible customer service number. And good luck. You dispute the charges with your card company, but they show up again later because the dispute was rejected. You're on tape agreeing to all of this. There are companies that operate like this until they draw attention of attorney generals and various regulatory bodies. Then they close up those LLCs, open some new ones, steam the labels off the leftover products, get new LLCs going, hire a bunch of people for minimum wage plus commissions and put them on the phones. And I mean like 100 desperate people, assuming attrition will pare your staff down quickly. It does. Then you start with 30-second radio ad buys for your product, staple the headsets to your sales gerbils, and off you go. Things haven't exactly changed, either. I'm sure all these crappy products are being sold in one form or another via the internet at this point, and all the websites have sneaky terms and conditions and checkboxes you have to be sure not to miss or you get the crap billed out of you for it. Many large non-profits, like Susan G. Komen and Red Cross, will use donation money towards executive salaries before using them for an actual crisis or research. If you listen to what they say, Susan G. Komen is about awareness, not research. So we need to find the one person left in the freaking world that doesn't know that breast cancer is a thing and fill him in so they can start putting money toward research. I once worked for a company which offered an online platform for, mainly business, events. We often contacted users to sell them additional services, mostly promotion of their events. Thing was, if one of the users asked us to delete their account and all information, we just wouldn't delete their data. The user's account would just be made invisible to others and put on an internal do not contact list. Oh, also, this would prevent them from logging in anymore. And yes, I am pretty sure that is illegal here, Germany. Retirement homes. If you place a parent in a home, and they are of sound mind, make sure your parent signs all the paperwork, not you. That way the debt dies with them when the time comes. The home will do everything to trick you into signing. Just sign this if you want her sheets changed once a week. No, it's a trap. There is lots of other abuse that can also happen, so I recommend a nanny cam in their room. Any business that charges you an upfront charge for equipment before you even start the job. There was a company I was hired on for that would sell knives door to door. It seemed like a legit company and the manager drove a Porsche. Little did I know, I had to burn the equipment for $200 from them, so I could use them in demonstrations. It was bulls. I didn't even make enough money to pay it off. Cutco knives are a common trap for college students and recent high school graduates. Few people make any money, and most who do end up alienating all their friends by constantly trying to sell them knives. Home improvement contractors with free in-home estimates that turn around and say if you commit right now we'll knock 15% off the price. Your choice at that point is to accept that price without knowing if another contractor is cheaper, or pass on what might potentially be the best price. Last time this post rolled around our personal finance, there was one response that stuck with me. The person was relating how a bank they worked for would advertise a new credit card with 0% interest if you paid your bill on time every month. People would flock to the program, seeing it as a way out of the cycle of debt that comes with the interest that builds on credit card debit. The shady part is that the business would forget to mail the statements in the first month, and most people wouldn't pay the bill they didn't receive, not knowing that the bill wasn't a formality but rather a favor done by the company. After moving all their debt over to avoid paying interest, they are suddenly paying out the butt. The person had to deal with too many of these, rightfully indignant people on the phone, and couldn't work there anymore. If you owe a credit card company money, bill or no bill, pay it on time. It's a savage corporate get-ahead move called a Candy. A woman at our company fresh out of an MBA named Candice does it, and the name Candy sucks. The tactic: a reply all with sly-eyed content changes to the previous uploaded body of work in a collaborative email thread. Very minor changes in a how about this fashion, and there she goes with all the credit. Only a few people have picked up on it, the content victims, because she makes it happen bang bang, knowing the energy to go through each version isn't there, or to call her out on it publicly, and she gets praise for original work without correcting the praise. Candice, you think you are a cute office hotshot? Well, your big arms are pointing to the contrary, and your name sucks. Boom, roasted. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.